scar from 20 years ago is tearing open on its own, and nobody on Earth knows why. It's 1740, 4 months at sea. Your gums turn black, your teeth fall loose, old wounds reopen. You're not cursed. You're starving for something that has no name yet. It killed around 2 million sailors, more than every storm, pirate, and battle of the age combined, and the cure sat in every port the whole time. This is how they found it, lost it, and forgot it twice. The disease was scurvy. For centuries, it was the single most reliable thing about going to sea, deadlier than storms, deadlier than any enemy navy. Here's what was happening inside them. Your body is held together by a kind of living scaffolding that it rebuilds every single day, and to build it, you need vitamin C. Stop eating it for a few weeks, and the scaffolding rots. It's the most patient killer there is. It just waits for the body to stop maintaining itself. Which is why scurvy looked like a horror film. Old scars melted open, long-healed bones came apart. There are accounts of men whose decades-old battle wounds reopened, injuries that had closed before they ever went to sea. And nobody knew why. The leading theories were bad air, laziness, sea salt, copper pots, blocked sweat, and, a personal favorite, moral weakness. By the time a ship hit open water, a third of the crew could be dying. The officers blamed their attitude. The maddening part is that the cure sat in every port, fresh fruit, especially citrus. People kept noticing that sick sailors recovered the moment they ate an orange. Then they wrote it down, forgot it, and rediscovered it all over again the next generation. The numbers were staggering. In 1499, the explorer Vasco da Gama sailed to India and back and buried around 100 of his 170 men, most of them to scurvy. He didn't lose a battle, he lost a pantry. Crews learned to sign on extra hands, simply assuming a share of them wouldn't come home. So the cures got creative. Sailors were dosed with vinegar, seawater, watered-down acid, mustard paste, and, in one case, buried up to the neck in sand, which does nothing for scurvy, but does keep you from complaining. Then, in 1747, a Scottish naval surgeon named James Lind did something almost nobody did back then. Most doctors trusted theory over their own eyes. Lind decided to actually look. He took 12 scurvy patients, split them into pairs, and gave each pair a different so-called cure: cider, acid, seawater, citrus. The 2 men given oranges and lemons were back on their feet within days. It was one of the first controlled medical trials in history. Lind had the answer, clean, tested, written down. The cure for the deadliest disease at sea was dessert. And then the Navy did nothing about it for nearly 50 years. The single most important paper ever written about life at sea sat unread, partly because Lind buried it in 400 dense pages when 4 would have done. Finally, in 1795, the Royal Navy began issuing lemon juice to every sailor. Scurvy, the thing that had killed millions, essentially vanished from the fleet almost overnight. It worked so well that British sailors became famous for it. Rival navies started calling them a name that stuck for good: limeys. The ration got so routine that men grumbled about it. The taste of not dying, apparently, gets old. Because here's the part that should be impossible. Over the next century, the Navy quietly lost the cure it had just found. They swapped Mediterranean lemons for West Indian limes, assuming they were just as good. They weren't. Far less of the thing that mattered. Then they boiled the juice and pumped it through copper pipes, destroying most of what was left. They'd kept the cure's name, but not the reason. So they fumbled it, and scurvy came back. Decades later, polar explorers, men with the best science of their age, sailed into the ice and began dying of a disease their own grandfathers had already beaten. Knowledge, it turns out, can rot. The mystery wasn't fully solved until the 1930s, when a Hungarian scientist named Albert Szent-Györgyi isolated the missing piece and gave it the name we now print on cereal boxes: vitamin C. Today, you carry the cure without a thought. An orange in your bag, a glass of juice, a gummy vitamin shaped like a cartoon bear. The thing that emptied entire ships is now something you forget at the bottom of a drawer. It's so rare now that most doctors will never see a single case. For 300 years, this killed more sailors than every storm and every war at sea combined. And the fix was fruit. It was always only fruit. But the part worth sitting with isn't the cure. It's that we found it, tested it, proved it, wrote it down, and then unknew it. Twice. We didn't lose the cure to ignorance. We lost it to confidence. We like to believe knowledge only ever adds up, that once humanity learns a thing, it's learned for good. Scurvy is the quiet proof that it isn't. The real luxury you have isn't the vitamin. It's that this time we wrote it down well enough to keep. Probably. If you enjoyed this, you'll want the next one. There's a new episode every week. Subscribe so you don't miss it.